Drake Hawkins here, rapper, producer, whatever, I don't care. Today we are reviewing Frostbite's newish album. I'm a little late on it, but his latest album, Clipped Wings. Now, Frostbite is a rapper inspired by artists like Earl Sweatshirt, and on this album, the collection of tracks with his delivery and beat selection it's very telling. While this is his best project to date, there isn't a massive variety of sounds on here. The album opens with Armor Sweet, at least I think that's how you say it, and it starts off promising but never seems to go anywhere. The beat repeats the same loop for what feels like 5 minutes, even though the track barely breaks 3. With the beat being as dry as it is, Frostbite's typical monotone delivery comes off even more drab as usual. But this is easily broken as we immediately get two of the best tracks on the album with Color Customizer and Pandemic. Color Customizer with Chloe is the song on here with the most commercial appeal, with it having a sung hook and the lo-fi melodies in the background. It sounds really radio friendly, and the structure of it works well. Frostbite's second verse being short enough to make you want to come back to it. And then comes Pandemic, which provides this fantastic mixture of boom bap and trap that adds to this paranoid, schizophrenic atmosphere that's also portrayed in the flows here. He'll flow consistently for like maybe 12 bars and then just mutter to himself and mumble for like a minute and then get right back into the verse. This track is brilliant, honestly. While we're on the great tracks, let's talk about Bedside. The feature here, Michael Hazley, provides a nice stage setter for Frostbite to punch in and provide the most consistent flow and rhyme scheme on the album so far. He just goes in here and it sounds like he is a vengeance. The title track here is the most introspective one, with a beat that reminds me of Isaiah Rashad's What's Wrong. And this is basically about him waiting for him to like get his wings so that he can escape the monotony of this life. And the way that his delivery and the beat and the flow meshes together is the best on the entire album, and it just creates an experience and like an other dimensionally feeling that you just won't get on any other track on this album or maybe anywhere else. And then Won't Cry feels leagues above the rest of this album. Like how do you make Armor Sweet and come on and make this and put it on the same track? I want to kill myself. Other than the mediocre Ullman Freeman verse, this is an absolute vibe. Not only are Frostbite's vocals and delivery the clearest that they are on the entire project, but the beat looping repeatedly actually works here, as Frostbite raps about wanting to break from his life. And this beat sounds like the life he wants a break from. The second feature, Knowledge Bond, brings one of the best verses on the project, with lyrics about wanting an escape from the death and destruction that is in his life. And this verse just closes out the track really nicely and makes me want to replay it over and over. The only thing that holds it back from being like a 10 out of 10 track is that Old Man Freeman verse, which is not only mixed mediocrely, but the transition from his verse to the next verse kind of sucks. And this album isn't spotless, of course, as I've pointed out a few errors, but there are more, like some of the deliveries being more tired and some of the features sounding like they weren't mixed in the slightest. OOS Scooter on Hold Your Claims Part 2 is the prime example of that. Walls sounds like the start of a song or like an idea or something that was on the cutting room floor, but a minute and 4 seconds into it just stops. It is the shortest song on here, even shorter than what is 2 tracks later, the Interlude. The beat sounds like a depressed Playboi Carti instrumental, with the drums sounding like an afterthought. I really like the melody of this. I really like the chopped up sample or whatever this thing is in the background. It's really nice. But the drums sound weak. They sound like Death is Slow is filler. And every sense of the word. It's really unnecessary. It doesn't need to be here. It's just a reiteration of what we were already told from every other track, that this life is monotonous, it's so repetitive, you want an escape from it. It is just a rehash of what was there before, and while this isn't sonically bad, it makes me wonder why is this on here when it's just repeating what we know. And then the album closes with the most energetic and upbeat track he's possibly ever put out, and that is Redemption. The trumpet on here, really nice, adds melody to it. The beat is major key, which is a little off just because the rest of the album is like minor key and depressing. So this stands out a little bit. One of the best tracks on here on an album that is full of really good tracks. This is an 8 out of 10 and I would recommend.